Classic.
There we go.
That's the one.
Do you think?
Okay.
Do you think your brother would be willing to do all of our tech support all the time forever if we just paid him in knit socks?
I'm gonna be real honest with you.
No.
I don't think so.
Dang it. Okay, I have nothing else to offer.
Yeah. Hello.
Hi.
And welcome to another Purl's Perspective.
Yay.
Wait, that's not our name. Purl Perspectives. We should really change that. My instinct is to want to say it in plural.
Because
there's
Pearls.
3 of us.
Yeah.
But no, welcome to another Purl Perspectives. This is a bi-weekly streaming podcast where 3 real-life friends from Canada sit, knit, talk about life, stitches, and all of our lives, bitches. And
Bitches get stitches. Or bitches be stitching.
They do be stitching. Yeah, and this is us coming to you from my living room using a phone as a camera.
Entirely unfiltered and unedited.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's right. So you're getting like raw footage of what it's
Truly.
like to be in our lives.
Like B-roll is the A-roll.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no editing here. You're getting it all. You're getting it all. So welcome once again. It is a lovely almost spring day here in Ottawa, Canada.
We're so close, March 21st.
We are so
We're getting there
Close.
slowly but surely.
so close. I'm wearing non-lined pants for the first time in a really long time.
It's
so
a
that's
Christmas
exciting.
miracle.
It's a Christmas miracle.
Yeah, but don't rejoice too fast, because there's always that weird,
There's true. We always have the like third winter.
fake one day or 2
yeah.
day winter, and then it goes
Yeah.
away.
And we have a little different setup right now. So if you put your comments in the chat, we can see you up there.
The TV is behind the camera.
Yeah.
Wow.
So hopefully you sounded exactly like Mario falling into a cave. Wow! But it was like exactly like it.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
You should do voice acting.
Maybe not. Maybe not. Although, if you ever... Okay, so I live alone, and when I'm in my house alone, and I'm just like, you know, cooking, cleaning, whatever, I like talk out loud to like fill the silence, and I do funny voices, and then I stop and I go, man, I need more friends and hobbies. And like, so maybe not with the voice acting.
I mean,
like,
yeah. No, I do the same thing. I think everybody, when they're by themselves, kind of like, do like,
We
let
let the
the
weird
silly
out.
out.
We
The
let the
silly
weird-
friend,
like
the
every
really
morning
silly
starts
child
with a
out.
Chewbacca roar, because like I'm alone and I can do that, you know. It's great.
Yeah.
But I do feel like that's therapeutic in a way.
It is.
To like
Yeah, exactly.
to let the weirdness out a little bit.
Absolutely.
Nah, it's good. It's good.
And hopefully, because we have this new setup, we'll be able to keep an eye on the microphone intake.
Yep.
So that we're not going into the red.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which we are notorious for.
Overlapping our
a
conversation.
little bit.
Yeah. I'm actually going to adjust the gain just a little bit
Yeah.
so that we're not screaming into your ear if you're wearing headphones. And if you're not wearing headphones, good for you. That's not really great for your hearing.
Or for your children, if you have little ones in the house.
Or
Like
for your
sometimes we get a
children.
little OTT, I should say. That's
A
okay.
little over the top.
That's okay.
So I don't know even what happened since the last time we were streaming.
Well, that was about a month ago. Would you like a quick little recap?
Yeah, why don't you recap?
Okay, so that was on the Sunday. The following week, we went to Mexico. Then we had a week on the beach.
Mm-hmm.
And then we all came back.
Mm-hmm.
And then we
Safe
had a
and
week
sound.
of like decompressing from holiday.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like cold and gross, so nobody wanted to go outside or go anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And then the following week, I went out of town and for work. And then you guys were all here missing me because it was my birthday.
Happy birthday,
Happy
Anahí.
And
Did
then
you eat cake yet?
I did.
Good for you.
One of my coworkers was really sweet, and she was like, "What's your favorite cake?" And I was like, "Strawberry shortcake." And she's like, "Okay." And then she made one from scratch and brought it to work on the bus.
What?
Oh my, that's dedication.
I know.
Jesus.
I know.
That's
Amanda.
so
I would be
nice.
so
The
scared.
goat.
Good job, Amanda.
Good for you.
The world needs more of you.
Yes.
And then, yeah, so it's just been like 2 weeks. Thanks, Turbo. It's just been 2 weeks of like cold, gross-ish, like winter to spring transition weather where everybody's just been kind of hunkering down and not really going out and doing stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
We are
Great knitting
slowly like emerging from our winter hibernation
Mm-hmm.
stations collectively.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's rough out there.
Yep.
Well, today is a little better.
Today's a little better.
Yeah.
The
for
walk,
sure.
the walk was very, very nice and mild.
It's really nice. I like.
It is.
Okay, listen.
So sunny.
It's all relative. Okay, to me, really nice. It's 1 degree and sunny. I was out there walking with Bilbo, and we're like, "Oh, this is nice.
this
A
is
balmy
seriously-
temperature. It's 1 degree. Okay,
But it's still like
put
but
it
it's
into
nice-
perspective.
But
comparison.
that's what I love about like living in a place like here, like this, because at the beginning, like when it's fall,
Yeah.
that 1 degree is like cold, and you're like, you know, you wear 5 layers, and you're like, you know, you're already breaking out your winter boots and stuff.
Yeah, it's
And then by the time in March
Yeah.
or April
Yeah.
rolls around, the same temperature,
true.
you're like, I see people in shorts outside.
Yeah.
Right, and I kind of get it.
I saw someone in flip flops in my neighborhood, and I was like, "That's a bit much."
But you know what? I think it's like the enthusiasm.
Can you
I
pass
appreciate
chicken
the
McNuggets?
enthusiasm.
There you go.
Right?
Thank you.
'Cause
I
it's-
appreciate. Yeah, it's nice. It's nice.
It's nice to really be enthusiastic about. Yeah,
The weather
the
getting
weather
a little
getting
better.
a little better.
When are we?
Freaking
When is it? March
March
21st?
21st is the official first day of spring. They're at the equinoxes and at the solstices is when the seasons change.
So March is equinox.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, because December was solstice.
December and June are the solstice. Where are you going, friend? Let me put this back here.
Oh,
He's
oh.
making life decisions, and I'm a little concerned because
Bilbo
he
is over
wants to be
there.
close to me.
Bilbo is over there trying to, like get into frame.
He's so close. Like this, you can't see my hand obviously, but my hand is on his head. So like really, really not far.
Really not far. He's right
He
there.
wants to be part of this.
He'll make his way in eventually.
If we are lucky, we might hear him snoring later today.
That's
That'll be
true.
great.
We'd be gifted. by
So
the Snuffles.
this is Chicken McNuggets, and Chicken McNuggets would like to know if you're wearing something knit today or handmade.
I am.
Are you?
You are. Are you?
I am not.
I am wearing socks that Allie made and didn't fit.
No, they were too small for me.
They are like they barely fit my feet. Yeah,
So I test knit these
but they
socks
stay up. They're so nice.
for.
They're really nice.
Oh my gosh, what's the name of the designer?
Poppy?
No, I think it's Carly Perrin. Is it Northwood Knit Co? I think is her handle on Instagram and Ravelry now. I knit them. I test knit them for her, and because I like to gift knit, I often say when I apply for tests, I'll knit whatever size you need people for. And so I ended up knitting a size, I think it was a size smaller than what I would normally wear, but it's mosaic knitting, and so it was much tighter than I anticipated.
Oof.
So it was like comical trying to get them on my feet. So I was like, cool, who do I know with small feet?
It me.
It's you. But it worked out because when we test knit a pair of socks in that same year, you ended up making them way too big,
too large.
which fit me really well. So we just like swapped socks that we had test knit.
yes.
So that was good. It was good.
We've said this before, but get yourself friends that have similar but not exactly the same shoe size as you.
Yep. Yep. Very helpful.
And also like sweater size or like pant size.
Yeah.
Very helpful.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
What are you wearing?
Me?
Mm-hmm.
I am wearing
Tolsta!
my brand new, well, it's not that brand new Tolsta tee. I bought this yarn at Knit City, Toronto last year, this blue yarn. This is the Tea-Lang colorway from The Wandering Flock.
Oh, yeah. Geraldine. Mwah.
It's in the merino singles base, the fingering weight base.
Yeah.
And then this dark blue is, I can't remember the name of the base, but I know it's like the yak fingering weight base from Ginger Twist in Scotland. I picked this yarn up in...
They're from Scotland?
Yeah. They're in Edinburgh. I picked this yarn up in 2023 when I was visiting as like my souvenir yarn.
Oh, you said Ginger Twist. I was thinking of Ginger Snaps.
Oh no, Ginger Twist. Ginger Snap is Canadian.
Okay.
Yeah, so I have Ginger Twist, The Wandering Flock. I use almost the entirety of 2 skeins of fingering weight yarn for the body. And it's like a nice cropped, and then I did a split hem on the side, which you can
Yeah, I see
sort of
it. I see it.
Where's some skin that's showing there?
It helps it sit really nicely.
Yeah, because I have, as we've established, a body that's shaped like this.
Like
So-
a delicious Dorito.
Thank
cute.
Like a Dorito 3D.
I love that.
Yeah, like a delicious Dorito.
BRB, just changing my handles on every social media to a delicious Dorito.
A delicious Dorito.
Just wait for the copyright infringement lawsuits to come in. But yeah, so like I'm shaped like this, so I often put A-line shaping into my
Sweaters,
garments
yeah.
and sweaters, and so I think I remember doing a little bit of that, and then what did I can't remember. It's on my Ravelry page, and then I did a split hem to just kind of complement that as
like
well.
it. Yeah,
and it's really nice, and it's cropped. This is my first time wearing it. We're going to the bakery.
We're going to the bakery.
Sun's out, rolls out.
It fits you really nicely.
Thank you. I quite love
like
it.
Yeah.
I took it for a spin today to do some errands, and it's like I wasn't even wearing a sweater underneath my jacket. It was just this in the jacket, and it was perfect. Like I wasn't too hot, I wasn't too cold.
Yeah. You
10 out
made
of
the
10.
fingering weight.
I made the
Right?
fingering weight Tolsta. I finished it in like August of last year, but I only blocked it in early February.
Yeah.
This is my first wear of it.
I've worn my Tolsta multiple times, but
Yeah.
I made mine DK. Was it DK?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, I think it was DK for you.
It's definitely not the fingering weight. It was either the DK or the worsted. I think it was the DK.
It's only the two.
Oh, it's only two?
Yeah.
Okay, so I made the DK, and I really, really like it, but I find that I crouch a lot, and so the neck kind of
Scoops up.
scoops
up,
up
yeah.
and tries to strangle me.
Strangled, yeah.
On the one side, it's good that the tea that I made reminds me to hold good posture.
Yeah.
But on the other side, I think next time I make it, because I will make another Tolsta, I might give myself a V-neck. Hopefully I can figure out how to do that. I've done a V-neck before in Raglans.
There we go.
So I think I can like just hack it.
Yeah, and she's got her Tolsta tank pattern,
And that one
which
is
has
V.
a V-neck, and she's coming out. She just put into testing, or is just about to start testing, the Lusk tee, which is the same gauge as the Tolsta, but is a drop shoulder. And I'm pretty sure there's a V-neck in that one.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
See, that's more my style.
the
drop
drop,
shoulder?
the drop shoulder,
shoulders,
yeah. I feel like because my shoulders are so sloped, I really look like I really find it flattering for me to wear raglans. So I'm gonna stick with the Tolsta.
Yeah.
I think.
I like it. I put this on this morning, and I looked in the mirror, and I went, fuck. Because it looks so good, and I look so good,
You
that all I
do.
want to do is disregard all of my other whips and projects to cast on a new one. Because I have yarn for 2 more in my hoard already.
In
I
different
have-
colors?
No, they're both red.
Well, that's okay.
One's in silk and one is in wool, though, so like they'd be different. And I was thinking the wool one, I want to do like longer sleeves.
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
Anyway, so I have
is this
plans-
not wool?
This is wool.
Okay.
This is wool, but like instead of a t-shirt, do. Anyway,
Like
I
a
have plans
longer-
for 2 more, and instead of sticking to the plan that I had given myself, now I'm like cast on.
Cast on.
But I cast on
Tolsta.
3
Tolsta?
new things in February, so I can't bring myself to do it. I can't make myself. I can't.
I mean, if you need someone to influence you badly, I'm your girl. I'm very good at
The little devil on my shoulder
at
is,
goblining.
yeah.
Like
is Anahí shaped, like
But
truly.
that's
at this point.
that's
Cast
true
it
friendship.
on.
That's true friendship, you know, to
That's
enable
right. I'm your enabling goblin. That's what it is.
dangerous.
Dangerous.
No, it's good. So,
I can't pick what I want to work on.
okay.
what kind of yarn
Give
or
me a number between 1 and 4.
3.
So whatever that purple one is.
You got it.
Friendship.
Friendship. Chicken
Yeah.
McNuggets can stay.
Chicken McNugget is.
If you don't remember Chicken McNuggets, she's my emotional support chicken.
She's great.
Everybody and their mom made an emotional support chicken, and we were no exception. And this is Chicken McNuggets. I made her out of stash yarn. I don't know where the yarn came from, but I had a lot of it, and it was kind of like chicken color.
yeah.
It worked out.
I remember when you were working on it, we looked at the tag and it was entirely in Spanish. So you
Yeah.
were like,
Yeah.
so you were like,
That's
I
true.
probably brought it with me when I moved to Canada 10 years ago.
10 years ago, yeah. So
So-
this is Chicken McNuggets, and she lives here close to the couch for whenever I need a little extra emotional support, which is pretty often. Very often.
I gotta make one of these Chicken McNuggets.
Yeah, same. I think everybody
these
needs
days.
one right now. This should be mandatory.
Yeah.
everybody receives a government
Right?
issued emotional support chicken.
Screw the $200 check from Doug Ford.
I want
I want an emotional support chicken.
Put him in the mail. We deserve them.
Oh man.
Yeah, I think if you feel like you need some emotional support, you should make yourself a chicken.
Or whatever shaped stuffy suits your needs.
That's right.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
true.
Because I keep seeing these like super cute like gnome patterns or bear patterns or
Oh, I've
frog
made a gnome
patterns,
before.
and I'm just like,
I've
Do
made
I
a
wanna
frog
know?
too.
gnome army. Aw. Could be fun.
Like the gnome that I made, the frog that I made was so cute. We called him Maurice. You might remember Maurice, the frog.
Yeah.
And it was really quick to make. I think I made him in an afternoon.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
And I think they're small enough that if we just like get together and make like a million tiny knitted frogs, we could like frog bomb the city.
Oh my God, I love
And
it.
people
Can you
could-
imagine just leave them randomly?
I think people would get a chuckle.
They would love it.
Cute.
Well, it's like this artist
so
in Ottawa that like left tiny little
Street
it
art
like-
miniatures.
Yes, they're so cute. I
Yes.
love it. Like the second you see one, you just like it puts a smile on your
Because
face.
it feels like you found a treasure.
Right,
Yep.
exactly.
Hidden treasure.
So cute.
That's my favorite kind of
Street
art.
art miniatures on Instagram. She makes hyper realistic miniature versions of food and characters and such, and then she puts them around the city and teases on Instagram
Huh.
a picture. And then it's fun to try to figure out where
Where
in
it is.
town it is. And
Yeah.
if you see it, you have to snap a picture of you with a
Love
mini.
that
It's really fun. It's a genius
concept.
concept.
Yeah. I found a hot dog from her not too long ago. It had
Nice.
mustard and relish.
Amazing.
It was great. It was
Amazing.
great.
Who doesn't love a good hot dog?
I know.
Truly.
I feel like hot dogs are one of those like really comforting foods, but it cannot be a good hot dog. It has to be a really mid one.
Yeah, like a ballpark dog.
It has to be a ballpark dog. It
Okay,
cannot be. It cannot be like
Anything else, yeah.
anything better than that. Otherwise, it doesn't serve its purpose of comforting my heart.
Yep.
Oh,
yeah,
that's
just
true.
like when you get nachos at the movie theater and it's 100% processed cheese.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Like that's the level of.
They're like,
mid
this
it
is
needs to be.
90%
So there's-
plastic, and I love it.
There's a restaurant chain in Quebec called Valentine.
Oh, I've
Which-
been. I've been.
And they have like these like in Quebec we call them roteux. It's like it literally means belching or belch. So it's a way to say like you're just gonna belch if you eat this.
Yeah.
And they're like, I don't know if they're still 99 cents, but when I was younger they were 99 cents. And because my partner's family was in Montreal for the longest time, every time they go back to Montreal, they have to stop at Valentine. So when we went to Montreal last time, he was like, I have to stop, otherwise, like, what am I doing here?
Yeah.
So he went in and he got four of those, and he just downed them. And like,
Are they hot
they're-
dogs?
yeah, they're
asking for heartburn at that point.
But that's why they're called roteux in French.
Oh, okay. I'm picking it up.
And
I'm
it's
picking it up.
literally they're like this big. They're like the tiny,
my
the
God.
same you'd find at any kiosk or any. So
Yeah.
they're not good quality,
it's
but
like
who cares?
the $1 hot dog from IKEA.
Yeah, that's literally.
Is it good? Absolutely not. I want two though.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Oh man, so good, so good,
Man.
so good.
So you might have guessed from the title of our stream today that we're having a WIP parade. And I gotta be honest with you, I didn't bring all my whips.
Yeah, same. There were too many.
I brought all of them, except for the one that's at work, because I don't have that many.
I have so many whips. I don't even remember which ones are some of them.
That's
are.
okay.
But that's okay. I feel
um,
like this exercise is good to like remind us of.
What we're working
Like
on.
what we're
we
working on.
I picked the ones that I'm actively working on
Same.
right now.
Okay.
Same.
I always have like maybe 4 or 5 active whips that I cycle through.
Yep.
And these are the ones that I'm currently cycling through.
Same.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, Allie, this was your idea to have a whip parade, so why don't you kick us off?
Okay, let me just get these. So, I am currently... So, I, as well, brought 4 of my active whips. Only one of them is a long-term whip. The other 3 are the ones that I started in February. However, like Carine, I also have a no longer languishing whip that is living at work because it's basically just like a long infinity cowl, so that's great to be working
So you
on.
can take your time, yeah.
Exactly. So my first one is, in our last stream, I mentioned in my Knitspiration wanting to start these socks.
And you sure did.
So these are the... Look at that beautiful cable.
Wow.
It's so nice.
This is the first of the Year of the Snake socks by Marie-Elise Dugal, who's a local to us designer. In Alley Cat Yarns. And I wish I could say that I had done the majority of this when I was traveling, because that's what these were supposed to be. Like, I was on 5 planes in the last 3 weeks. Like, I was like, oh, I'm going to get these socks done. It's going to be great. I got to, like, here after 4 plane journeys and 2 weeks spent in hotels. I got, like, basically nothing done. So I've done all of the heel and all of this since I got home Friday night at 10 p.m. But
it is very clear to see that you are the most focused and productive when you're at home.
Yeah, but also when I'm traveling, like when I'm on a plane, I prefer to read.
That's a good point.
I prefer to read than knit. Like I will knit, but I'm just like, I've said it before, I'll say it again, I'm a bookworm first and I'm a knitter second. So I will always default to reading, and that's just what I do when I travel. I find that more fits my mindset than knitting. Also, I made the very sarcastically wise decision to bring only textured projects with me when I was traveling instead of stockinette.
Who are ya?
Why did I do that?
I guess they were the projects that were inspiring you.
But yeah, this is my first WIP. We're firmly back on the sock train. The mojo is back.
The mojo is back.
It wasn't gone for very long. Truly,
that's good, because if you watched last episode where we were talking about knitting socks for a year or more.
Yep.
Ali was having a bit of a rut.
A little burnt out of socks.
A little sock burnout.
But my big takeaway from that was that doing a year of socks wherein I receive a subscription of like a sock set a month, if I do that again in the future, I cannot push myself to complete a pair of socks
outside
with
of that.
the yarn that I've received for each month. Like, if I'm not feeling like starting a pair of socks with the yarn that I got that month, I don't have to. That was where my rut came from.
Yeah, because you felt the need to deliver.
Yeah, exactly.
Deliver
so
on a request.
That took the joy out of it.
Yeah, I've always said whenever someone's evaluating my work, it is no longer joyful.
No, exactly.
So anyway, 10 out of 10 recommend this yarn, recommend this pattern. I'm having fun knitting these cables. And I will probably make a couple more pairs of these in the future. I think they'd make really good gift knit socks. So, that's WIP number 1 for me.
Love.
Would like to go next?
Carine?
Oh, sure. The first one is the Melody sweater from Claudia K. So this is
scallops.
Yeah.
Claudia Quintanilla of Unit Toronto.
So this is actually a gift that I got. I got the yarn and the pattern. The yarn is Knitting for Olive. It's DK weight, but it's actually fingering and lace held together.
Okay.
I'm not sure what the colorway is, but
that's okay. We'll put
it's like a dusty blue.
Yeah.
But it's it's very like once you've done this the bottom part, it's essentially stockinette all the way up, and then there's you can kind of see that the
and then the scallops come up at the yoke again.
I'm not sure you're gonna see it, but essentially like there's glare. Like you can see some of the scallop at the top there.
We'll put it all in the show notes.
But so that's the one. I wanted to work on another one today, but I realized that I'm missing needles that are at work. So I have to. So I went for this one. I do enjoy it. It's just really I have a lot of other WIPs that I'm working on at the same time. So I'm kind of like cycling through.
Yep. I get that.
So yeah.
I'm working on the ribbing of a flax sweater.
Hey, nice. Tin Can Knits.
Tin Can Knits. Yeah, and this one is going to be for me, but I need to stop explicitly after the ribbing because I'm using this example to teach my first sweater class at Wabi Sabi. So this is the same project that I'm taking my students through. And I thought it's only fair if they have to do it that I also do it.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna try to keep up with my students who are way more motivated than I am. But yeah, the part of the pattern for this week of class was the ribbing in the round. And so we went over like how to join in the round, how to keep your tension straight, how to avoid laddering when you're switching from one side to the other. And what was new for most of them was how to use the magic loop technique, which is one of my favorite. Magic loop is when you have... Magic loop is when you have a circumference that is smaller than the length of your circular needles. So you need to leave like little doggy ears on the side so that you can work on the circumference in the middle. And then when you get to one of the edges, you have to readjust and make the doggy ears on the other side so you can keep going on the other side of the circumference.
So it's like knitting flat twice, but all the needles are connected.
But it's like knitting in the round. But instead of 2 DPNs, instead of 4 DPNs, it's 2.
2, yeah.
Because you only readjust whenever you get to the midpoint of your entire project. And but what's good about it is that you don't have to knit back and forth, which means that you don't need to turn around. You're always seeing the right side of your work.
Nice.
Which is nice. So anyway, I'm working on this. I'm almost done with the ribbing part, and then I have to put it down because I have to teach my students how to start doing the increases for the raglan.
So how many weeks of a class is this?
It's 4 weeks of a class.
And so you've done the ribbing, neck ribbing.
Yeah.
And knitting in the round is the first one. Increases is the second one.
Yes.
What's the third and the fourth?
The third one is going to be sleeves with the decreases.
Okay.
And the last week will be the body and the ribbing at the bottom.
Okay. Wow.
So it's going to be a fast-paced class.
Yeah.
But thankfully, they will have a full week in between each class to work on it. And I've set up a little WhatsApp group so that they can ask questions outside of class.
And is this like worsted weight or?
This is worsted weight.
Okay, so that'll help with getting progress
it'll
done.
go faster because it's 5mm needles.
Oh yeah, that'll fly.
Yeah, these are 4mm for the ribbing, and then 5mm for the body and sleeves for like the stockinette part. So I'm hoping that they'll fly through it. And I'm actually really excited to finally be casting on this sweater because I've had this yarn as a souvenir that I got in Halifax. Probably 2 years ago. A couple of years ago I've had it. I was walking down the what's the boardwalk? It's not called a boardwalk. What?
I've never been to Halifax. I don't know.
So like Halifax has this like.
Oh, you mean where the
where the pier is?
Yeah, where the pier is. Yeah. But like there's shops. Along
Yeah.
That's fun.
It's not called a boardwalk.
Maritimers and Halifax locals.
Maritimers. What is it called? It's like that area by the water in Halifax.
The harbor? No.
The harbor
there
front.
We go.
Okay. So good.
We got there. Yeah. We got there.
It was a harbor front, and they had a Scottish tartan and wool shop.
Amazing.
And I stumbled upon it, walked in, and walked out with multiple balls of yarn. So this is rustic Scottish wool.
Can I feel that?
It's very toothy.
Such a really nice, beautiful color.
It's only a 2-ply, but it's worsted. Yeah. So it's like real toothy for sure.
That's going to bloom beautifully.
I've got 3 balls of this like burgundy purple, and then 1 ball of the same yarn in cream. Ooh. And I'm going to do stripes.
Nice.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to do some thin stripes.
That's going to look great.
I thought about just doing the ribbings in like opposite color, but I really do want the stripes, so I'm going to go for that.
Yeah, that'll look great.
Yeah, nice. It should be nice.
Awesome. Speaking of souvenir knitting, I just came back from Winnipeg, and I myself brought some souvenirs back too, so...
Ooh, expands.
Okay, so I went... So I didn't really have to convince my coworkers to visit Purl and Hank with me. But we visited Purl and Hank, which is at, if I remember correctly, 2063 Portage Street in Winnipeg. And it's pretty new of a yarn shop. And we walked in, the 3 of us, and my co-workers and I were like, oh, we want some souvenir yarn. And the owner, Crystal, was there, and we got to talking, and she made some really great recommendations, of which we made some purchases. And then we found out Crystal and some of the Purl and Hank team will be at Knit City Montreal this year.
Nice!
So now my coworker and I are like, okay, now we really need to knit with what we bought so that we can show up
Yeah.
at your booth and be like, look, we made something.
What are you gonna make?
TBD. So this yarn, as soon as I saw it on the website, because obviously I did recon beforehand, I was like, I need a skein of this.
I'm so not surprised by this behavior.
So this yarn is grown and milled by Longway Homestead.
100% Canadian
Canadian
range.
range.
Yeah.
Wool.
Yeah.
So that's Laura, right?
Anna of Longway
so
Homestead.
nice.
She has been really one of the main forces behind the Great Canadian Fiber Shed and really like lifting up the Canadian wool industry.
Yeah.
And she's got a book coming out soon, of which I have
A
already
second book, right? Because she's
Yes,
written
a
one
second-
book
a second
before. We took her workshop.
her seminar on the fiber sheds.
That was in Toronto, I think.
No, Montreal.
Montreal?
Because Toronto, we all took our own classes.
Oh, right.
Yeah, that's true.
But anyway, so her farm is amazing. She has a whole bunch of sheep, and this wool is from her farm, Longway Homestead, but it's dyed in-house at Purl and Hank, right? So it felt like perfect, right? I had a little...
It's like a really good color for you.
Yeah.
It's okay. They had 4 more skeins of this colorway, and I almost bought them all, but I was like, Chili Child, no, you gotta work with the yarn first before you can buy a sweater quantity.
Ciao.
Also, I think at last count, like 18 sweater quantities, and I'm like, I can't bring myself to buy more until I start knitting with them.
So this is kind of a DK weight.
It's a sport weight,
A post-
but I
nice.
was thinking the Snuggle is Real cowl. By
I
Nancy
made
Sia.
it!
You made it. It's been making the rounds on social media again, and I was like, that might be fun.
Yeah.
So I might do this with that. We'll see. Who knows?
You would need an accent color or a
Yeah.
contrast color for the Snuggle is Real.
But
I've made the Snuggle is Real cowl in Drops Charisma.
Yeah.
Which is an excellent choice for it. I found that it ended up way too warm for my liking. To be fair, I didn't follow the pattern exactly. The pattern said to use a mohair as a
inner
lining, as an inner lining, and I just used more of
Wool.
the same wool.
Yeah. Okay.
And that ended up way too hot for me.
Okay, well that's a good.
I
piece of
only
knowledge.
am able to wear it when it's like -15, -20.
Which here in Ottawa we do get. For
Yeah.
a period
Quite
of
frequent,
time.
I'm not
So,
gonna lie.
That's a good thing to have in your arsenal for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's a great pattern. The what's it called when you just slip
Mosaic.
The mosaic design is so enjoyable and quick. You don't
Yeah.
even have to look at the instructions. It just becomes
Nice.
natural pretty
Okay.
often, and you go around and around and around and
How
around
much?
and around.
How much yarn did you use? How many skeins?
I don't remember.
I looked at the pattern when we were in the shop, and I think it's sport. I think it's 1 skein each of sport weight for the outside, and then like 1 50-gram skein of mohair for the inside. But I don't think you even use the whole amount.
You don't know.
So
Okay.
anyway, I was thinking of that, and if it ends up being I'm not much of a cowl person, but I want to give it a try because A, I want to try the wool, and B, I think the pattern's gorgeous.
The pattern's really nice.
But if I end up just not wearing it because I'm not a cowl person, I think my dad would get a lot of use out of it.
oh yeah.
So I think I'll give it a try for myself, and I honestly I might even make it in Montreal Canadiens colors.
why not?
Where it's like
Oh,
red
why
and white
not?
on the outside, and then like a dark blue on the inside for the
Yeah.
so that there's like that cheeky little Habs
Because he's a
colors.
real
'Cause He's
fan.
a huge fan, and I think that might be a good gift for him. And then I also just got a skein of soft yarn from a Saskatchewan hand dyer, who I'd never heard before, but I'm excited to try. Her colors are gorgeous. Midnight.
Oh,
Knit
I
Craving.
actually have a lot of her stuff.
Yeah?
I still haven't used it though, but I've had it. So when we were in Montreal for Knit City, I bought not at Knit City, but not when we went for Knit City. It was during our Montreal
Yarn Crawl that we did.
yarn
in,
crawl.
Like,
It was
21.
a store that was in Verdun area, which unfortunately is no longer there. She had a lot of. She carried a lot, and she had
Beautiful.
What is it called again?
Mid Craving. Like
Midnight
midnight.
Craving.
I
They
really
had
like the label.
Yeah.
And the yarn looks so soft.
Yeah. And I saw it and immediately was like, and there was 2 more skeins and I almost bought both of those as well. But I was like, no, no more sweater quantities. So I figured if this doesn't become socks, this will be really great in a shawl.
It's so beautiful.
because I love shawl knitting.
Yeah.
But getting back to whips, sorry, I was distracted. I brought the pattern, the shawl that I was working on last time we were streaming. I have made an obscene amount of progress on it. I also did the smart thing and I purchased a 60-inch long cable so that I could actually show it. This is the front here. So I waited. Oh, there goes my yarn ball. So that I'm actually at the end of the row.
Woo!
So last time we were here, I was in this like darker blue, So I have knit all of this in the last month. It's been pretty much the main project I've been working on.
This is lovely.
It's beautiful.
Thank you. It will be a triangle shawl, not a diamond-shaped shawl. We're just stretching it out so that it can be, more visible.
Yeah, so technically it would be this way, right?
No, this is the bottom here.
Oh,
so
okay.
it'll be like this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Anyway, again, this is the Aramophilia shawl by Amba O'Brien, and I'm using up the remnants of my 2021 Shirley Bryan yarns.
I love these colors.
I love it. This is the next color. It's really, really like super pink and vibrant.
Are you doing it with a set of minis? Or
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
That's
so
gonna
cool.
look lovely.
Yeah, so I faded through. So this top half was the remnants of the first iteration of the shawl I made that I gave my cousin.
Yeah.
And then the rest of it was the full skeins from the middle of the Advent that I hadn't used yet.
This looks like a really enjoyable chevron.
It is so okay. I have to say this has been my stockinette, not my stockinette, my like easy knitting pattern.
It is stockinette
for the
pattern.
last.
Oh
it's
no,
garter.
it's garter.
It's garter.
It's knit back and forth.
And it's so the pattern is so intuitive. You do something like 15 rounds with the like increase shaping rows.
Yeah.
Just garter, and then you do one row of the eyelets, and then it's like another like 15 rows of the garter. It's honestly, I would recommend this pattern. It's great. I love it. And as I said
nice.
last time, I'm doing a third repeat of the chart, which is one extra repeat so that I can use up all of these minis and have a jumbo shawl.
Nice.
Nice. That's awesome.
So there's my second addition to the WIP parade.
I also have made my second addition to the WIP parade.
Okay.
I started this when we were on vacation.
Oh, yes.
Do you guys remember my sock blank?
This is so good.
I cast it on 64 stitches because I knew I wanted to make these into socks.
Look at how different they are.
I know,
It's
right?
so different.
Look at it.
Wow.
And
Awesome.
while we were on vacation, I decided that the leg of the sock, I wanted to use the hibernal sock pattern from Summer Lee.
Yeah.
And I'm loving this mock cable pattern. It is not actually cables. It's very textured. Unfortunately, because of the dye,
Yeah, it's a little hard to see.
It's hard to see.
You can see it. Yeah, you have to stay close.
You
but
have to
can see
stay
it.
close to it to be able to see the mock
Yeah, right there.
cable.
Right
Right
here.
there
Right
it is.
here.
Mm-hmm.
Gorgeous.
But
It looks like a braid.
regardless of that, I'm gonna press on. I'm not gonna continue the mock pattern all the way down the foot because I want the foot to be
Just plain.
smooth and just like fit really nicely in tighter boots. But I'm really enjoying them. Knitting out of a sock blank is a bit extra challenging because it comes out kinky like ramen noodles.
Yeah.
Look at that. Like it's anyway. And so you have to be extra careful with your tension because it can accidentally add a little extra length in there because of the kink. So you have to like
Yeah. Did you see that
pull a little bit harder.
there's a video on Instagram that was like showing
How
when
to
you
put it
have
through
yarn like this,
steam?
to steam. I thought that was brilliant. I'd never thought
yeah,
about
that was pretty cool. But I realistically, I'm probably not going to do that.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fair.
So just a word of advice, if you're working from a sock blank and you don't want to unravel it all, steam it, and reball it, just be careful that you're either going down a needle size or pulling a little harder every time you go to make a new stitch.
Because there's extra,
Because there's extra length in the kink.
Alternatively, pick a pattern that if it ends up accidentally too big,
It don't matter.
it don't matter. Or you have somebody in your friend and family group who would like a pair of socks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
We'll do
I'm
it.
using what are quickly becoming my new favorite sock or small circumference needles, the
Addy Flexi Flip.
Flexi Flips. These are not Addy. These
Oh, okay.
are
they?
generic internet
Nice.
Flexi Flips.
Right.
But they are quite nice. They have one pointier edge than the other, and they have a very sturdy stainless steel mini cable in the middle. And so essentially what you do is you flip them and hold them into a fake circumference, like a 9-inch circular.
This is a 9-inch circular by comparison.
Right? And so it allows you to have a combination of like not quite magic loop, but not quite DPNs. So I find them very comfortable to hold. my buddy Pete put me onto these because that's his preferred sock knitting method, and I am down. I quite like it. I think it works really well with both continental knitting and with
So you
English
need at
knitting.
least 3?
Yeah, the set comes with 3 flexi flips.
Okay.
And so if you put half of the stitches on one, half of the stitches on the other.
Okay.
So
and
you
when
set
you're
it up like
knitting
you
one,
would Magic
like
Loop.
Yeah, I kind of
Yeah.
like that because like that's what.
You're working on Magic Loop. So
This is-
Carine's second edition to the WIP parade
What's your second
is-
edition?
Is the magic loop.
Oh,
Look at that. We have all 3
that's
types
very
of-
loopy.
It's long, unfortunately, but it's the only one that I have in this size.
It's okay.
So mine is the vanilla sock with gusset and choice of heel from Joe Tor.
Nice.
So it's very, well,
A
self-explanatory.
classic sock.
I just enjoyed it because, well, this is the other one, but essentially it's,
Oh, this is also Shirley Bryan yarns.
right, yeah.
She has
Shirley Bryan.
she does these like faded sock kits where you get 2 50-gram skeins and they have like a slow fade over the course of the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
So you've started with the
Vandy.
navy end and it'll end depending on where you stop with
Yeah.
gold.
Yeah, so, and I have,
Nice.
like, so what I did
Great
is I
hits.
separated it into, so I can have the same
Yeah.
for both.
Well, they come in 2 50-gram skeins.
Yeah.
So
So, like, this way, technically, hopefully, the socks look similar.
Nice.
At least that's the plan. But yeah, maybe something like this would be easier because this is annoying. I'm not gonna
Have
lie.
you tried soaking them in hot water so that they're not kinky?
I have not.
Okay, so when you have
Like, how hot are we talking? Like boiling?
from the kettle.
Okay.
No, do not put it in active boiling
no, you
water.
want it to be like anywhere between like 70 and 85
Okay,
degrees.
okay.
I boil the
Otherwise,
kettle and
Let it sit for a little bit.
let it sit, and then I put the needles in a pot and slowly pour the water over
How
it,
long do
and
you
they
leave
will
it?
like the
Oh,
plastic
it
cable
doesn't take
will,
very long.
Oh,
No,
okay.
it's like a couple seconds.
Okay.
The plastic immediately starts to relax. You pull them up and you lay them flat and let them
Okay.
level down.
I'm gonna try that because,
Yeah.
like, I wanna, I wanna get better. Well, I mean,
It's a good idea whenever you get new circular needles that you put them in hot water first or put them out in the sun.
If they
a
have
little
a
bit.
plastic cable only and not a steel cable coated in
Steel
plastic.
cable is never
Different.
going to do that.
No, yeah.
But
Makes
the
sense.
plastic cables, which I have a lot of, they always do have this
They
kind
get
of
all
memory.
crimped up, yeah.
Yeah, they're like a crimp memory, and because they come packaged coiled up,
That doesn't help.
it does not help.
Yeah, it doesn't
The
help.
longer they sit in the package, the more difficult it will be to straighten them out.
I have to admit, I have not slowly, been divesting of all my non-Chowgu needles.
For
Because-
that, I call them the Louboutins
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
they do
once
have
you've
the,
of knitting
tasted-
needles.
like
once
they do
you've
have the red
tasted-
cable. So
Yeah,
you know,
the
like
red
it's
cable.
like it's just there's no
it's
going
hard
back.
to- yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah,
like
'cause you know
right
how-
now this is nitpicks because this is what I started the project and I'm like it doesn't feel right.
It doesn't feel
You do get comfy in your favorites, that's
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah, you
But to
do,
be
for
fair,
sure.
these are Chagos too, and they're the bamboo and plastic ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I definitely
Yeah.
prefer the metal stainless
Yeah.
steel cables.
Oh,
The
yeah.
I will say, the only time I will deviate from, like, the metal Chowgus is when I do the bamboo Chowgus, because these ones have... Actually, I don't know if these are... Are these a
Those
metal?
are steel.
Are these... Okay, so I knit with the bamboo-tipped Chowgu short circulars, and for some reason I thought they had a plastic cable, but
No,
no,
that's
it
a
looks-
metal cable.
It's a metal cable that's plastic coated, just like the stainless steel.
It's
tip
just
ones.
not red.
It's just not red. It's white. But I knit with these ones when I knit my socks. A, because I like that you get just a little bit of flex in the needles for the short circulars, and B, because I travel a lot and knitting well brown.
Yay!
But they're great.
I was okay. So third input into the WIP parade.
Yes, please talk about
Um,
these.
My 9-inch circular sock. I started this on the plane on the way to vacation.
That was just over 3 weeks ago.
And it was really funny because you and I were both sitting next to each other, and we were both
I was
working
knitting on
on a
these.
sock with 9-inch circular needles. And we held the cuffs together.
And it was comical. It was like these were her original ones.
My cuff was twice the
Yeah.
width of yours.
Is it
Yeah.
because of the size of the needles or just
It's
the
because-
difference in tension?
difference
Probably
in tension?
A bit of both. Because I was working on 2.5 millimeter needles.
And these, I don't know what these are. These are 2.5. Yeah.
Okay, so you were working
So
on a
it's
slightly
just-
larger needle with a much looser tension.
Yeah.
And they
This
were
is
like
2.5.
twice the size.
And also, I was working continental.
Yes.
So I was holding my yarn like this, and I was picking
Whereas
every time.
I hold my yarn in this hand. I tension it over here and
Yeah.
then throw it around.
So wait, throwing is English, right?
Throwing
English.
is when you hold it
Okay.
with the right hand
Yeah,
and
throwing
so
is
yarn
I do-
English,
over.
I do
picking is
English.
continental.
Yeah. I'm actually, like, I've been toying with the idea of having, like, a little, like, method demonstration at Wabi Sabi because
Do
there's
it.
picking, there's throwing, there's sleever, and there's flicking.
And where does
And
Portuguese
combination.
knitting fall in all of that?
I think Portuguese is technically throwing.
Okay.
Because you
You tension it-
it's technically
'cause you're-
picking, but you tension with your neck instead
Yeah,
of
you're
with your
tensioning
finger.
it like this. So because it is because you're holding it in the other hand.
Yeah.
You're going like that.
Exactly.
You probably
And you're-
can't see it because it's very thin, light yarn, but
But you're still picking, but with your
you're
with
holding
your
it.
thumb.
And
yeah.
a lot of people will put like a pin on their shirt and tension it through there as well when they're Portuguese knitting if
Yeah.
they don't want to
That's
do it
pretty
around
cool.
their neck. So
I haven't tried doing that, but that's one of those methods that I want to investigate.
time to go
Anyway,
to Portugal.
I finished the cuff. I worked on the leg. I had like a good 10 centimeters of leg, and then I like tried it on, and I just didn't like how slouchy it was coming along. So I restarted throwing.
Okay.
And this is coming along much nicer, and I can definitely see how when I'm throwing, it's not that the stitch itself is shorter, it's that when I go to make the subsequent stitch, the one before it
Gets tightens
Tugs.
up. Yep.
tightens up, which doesn't happen
When
with,
you're doing continental.
with picking. So, suggestion for me of the future, when you're using 9-inch circulars, switch to throwing. Lessons in tension.
Okay. What's your third WIP?
Well, let me just get past this cabling on a live is maybe not my best idea, but that's okay. We persist. We persist. I love these socks. They're great. So my next WIP. Oh, sorry, Bilbo. I kind of bumped him a little bit.
How dare you?
Also, something that I started.
He hasn't even twitched.
He's fine, don't
He's
worry.
He's fine. He's fine. He's just like me. It's also something that I started when we were in Mexico. This is the Cala crop top by Pip and Pin. Megan Nodecker, I think. No, is that right? Oh my gosh. Pip and Pin is the handle on all of the things. Did I not? Oh, I didn't print the main page. Ha ha ha. Jokes
It's
on me.
okay.
Okay.
We'll
Pip
put
and-
the
yeah.
link in the
Pip
in
and
the
Pin.
comments.
So I did all of this in 1 week while we were in Mexico.
Wow.
I love this color so much.
This is a now
Like
discontinued.
a strawberry
Yeah.
smoothie.
Right? You're right.
I was thinking it kind of reminds me of
it's
like
plum.
plumeria flowers.
Yeah.
So like soft plum. Like orange.
So this part of the I'm out of frame here.
Like umeboshi plum.
Yes. There we go.
It's going to be the top part of the shirt here. There's going to be lace that comes down to about here, and then I switch into stockinette, and it will be like a crop top that's with a bit of a shaped body.
Cute.
I knit all of this when we were on vacation. I felt so good about it. But then when we were at the airport waiting to board our flight, I was making measurements, and I was like, oh, I need to block this because you have to knit for like 5 1/4 inches or something for whatever on my size. But I realized that there's so much stretch in this lace pattern
Oh yeah.
that I don't know how far that is actually going to be.
Woof.
Because,
It might end up 3 sizes too big.
yeah, like the lace is supposed to stop like just under your collarbone. If I keep going and then it blooms a lot, it could end up all the way, like halfway down my bust, which is fine. I have zero problems with peekaboo style clothing. I'd wear the hell out of it. It'd be
Sexy.
great. But that would just impact the depth of my armhole, and I don't want an armhole that's like all the way down at my belly button.
Yeah.
So I haven't gotten around to doing it, which is why I haven't worked on it in the last 2 weeks. But I will at some point block this, see how much it grows, and then I can make a determination for how much more I need to knit before I can stop the lace and carry on with the stockinette. But I just love this. Part of me is like, can I finish it before Knit City in May?
In May?
Can I do it?
I mean,
I might be able to do it.
yeah, but what are you gonna put on the back burner to do it?
Everything else? Everything else?
Then yes, absolutely.
Do it.
Do it.
I'm trying to make a switch in how I do handle my knitting projects, where I have like one main home project, one main work project,
Yeah.
and then one main transit project, so that I can kind of really give my WIPs actual progress.
Okay.
Yeah.
So these socks are my transit ones. I have a infinity cowl at work that is, just stockinette. Because my goal is to get like I have a couple of like garments where once I'm through the yoke and I'm on the body or the sleeve, that becomes a perfect work project because it's just
because you don't have to think about shaping or texture.
And so I really want to get this one to the point where I'm past the armhole shaping and it's just the tube of the body, and then that can become my work project. So I don't know. We'll see how I feel. Maybe I will attempt this one as a Knit City wear. Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll wear this shirt to Knit City. It's just one day that I'm planning to go, so maybe I'll do a couple of wardrobe changes throughout the day.
Why not?
Why not?
Well, I only have the more things I bring to wear, the less yarn fits in my backpack on the way home.
Fair.
That's true.
Anyway, yeah, so this is my third WIP, is the Cala crop top. I will get around to blocking this, hopefully this week, now that things have settled down, and then I can get some more progress on this, because this stitch to do the lace is really simple, and it's like once you've memorized the repeat, you're off to the races. So yeah, I'm really excited. I'm really stoked to get this.
It
one
looks
going.
like a really nice geometric kind of lace.
Yeah, it's what did Vanessa? I think Vanessa said it reminded her of like raspberries between the color and the shape of it.
Yeah,
that's kind of
I
true.
can see it.
I can see that. Yeah.
So yeah, this is gonna be the next one that will be my home project
Very nice.
once I finish that shawl. So that's my third addition to the WIP parade.
Well, my third would probably be this one. This is the Snow Pine,
Oh yeah.
which I'm still not super close to finishing, but
But
kind
you've
of.
made progress, I think. Since
Oh,
the last time
definitely.
you worked
So
on it
Snow
here.
Pine from Woolen Pine.
Oh wow. Oh wow.
Nice.
So I sorry, this way. So I
That was
essentially just have to
amazing.
do the get to the bottom, finish it, and then the sleeves.
It's so
Yeah.
soft.
So yeah, this was my introduction to
Color work.
Intarsia.
Intarsia.
Yeah.
Yeah,
this
because the
part here.
sleeves are.
Oh yeah.
And it was an adventure, like trying to
That
understand
edge looks really nice.
how this works. Yeah, that was hard, but it's actually very like, oh, and the yarn is La Bien-Aimée.
Oh, that's why it's
Most
so
of it,
soft.
most of it.
Bougie.
Yeah,
Bougie.
except for this one. This one is another one, but the other two colors are La
Yeah.
Bien-Aimée. And it's just, it's super soft, super nice. I like it, but it's also one of those where because you have to switch colors,
A lot of yarn management.
a lot of yarn management, so sometimes I just don't feel I just want something like
A little bit
easy
Simpler.
peasy, like simpler, yeah.
brain candy as opposed to
Yeah.
like
Brain candy.
But yeah, whenever I look at it,
workout.
I'm like, I want to work on it. And this might actually be a good work one.
Yeah, because you're kind of just at a stockinette point now.
Well, not only
Like
that,
a
because
tube
work,
one.
I can't really, like, I'm only going to do, like, one row at a time, right? Because I'm working, so I'm
Right.
not going to be, like, so I'd be doing, like, even a half a row and then
Yeah.
putting it away.
Yeah.
So it could be but right now, the one at work is my Rocket Tea.
Ooh.
That's the one that's at work right now. So
Nice.
I gotta make another one of those.
maybe that's the one I'll wear for Knit City,
There you go.
if I can finish it.
A couple of us are planning to head up for the Saturday. Take a train in the morning, go to the festival, take a train in the evening kind of thing instead of staying over for the weekend.
I wish to go to the festival.
So yeah, so we might see you there if you're going to Knit City
Yeah.
Montreal.
Let us know.
We'll see you there hopefully on the Saturday.
I
Although
will not be going to Knit City.
No?
No. I have decided that I am not to be trusted. And if I go, I will falter and cave in and
Oh,
buy
baby
things
girl.
that I don't want to buy.
Yep.
So I am going to put myself in the best possible position, which is right at home.
Which is fair. I mean, there's other festivals too throughout the year. If you have
100%.
an inkling to go later.
And
Well-
I encourage you to know thine self.
Yep. Yep. Because
And
we'll
I know
definitely end
myself.
up going to Twist again.
Absolutely.
Oh, 100%.
Depending on the time of year, we may also end up at the Almont
Yeah.
Fiberfest. That was a fun one last year.
Yeah, exactly.
So there's lots of
Different
things.
options.
Yeah.
Any more whips?
I have one more.
I have one more.
You go ahead then.
Okay. I've also continued to work on my crochet top, which I wanted to have done before we went on. Thank you. Before we went on vacation, but I didn't. This is just one half of the panel.
Oh.
So essentially what's missing now is I'm going to finish this repeat, which is going to be like this wide. And then this is going to sit on the side. I'm going to make another panel that sits on the same, on the opposite side. And it's going to be joined by a button placket. And then it's going to close with buttons like this.
It looks so nice.
Yeah.
Is there going to be sleeves, or is that it? The drop shoulder on the side?
No, the drop shoulder is the sleeve.
Is the sleeve. Okay.
Because you would think it's this way, but it's this way.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, it's
It's like a sideways construction.
Yeah.
It's nice because normally when you make something crochet, it's either in the round or it's back and forth in panels. But because this is flopping the other way, it gives it a lot of
Drape.
body.
Yeah. Woo.
Drape. So I'm excited. It's coming along.
That color combo is
Is very nice. I like it.
Stunning.
But I gotta be honest with you. I should have made it a lot more cropped than I did, because I'm really struggling to get through these enormous
Long
rows.
rows.
Because you're working the entire panel
Yeah.
back and front,
Back and forth
or
at
back
the
and
same
front,
time.
and back and front, and back and
So
front.
it's like
and
double the length of your torso. Because you're doing it in one
Exactly.
piece.
Yeah, because
Oof.
you're doing it, and you have to do that twice, and then do the color. So like, I'm a little like, I get bored after so much double crochet.
Yeah.
It's kind of nice though, because I can do it like without really thinking
Yeah.
about it much.
Muscle memory.
Yeah.
Muscle memory for sure.
I'm a big fan of like when you get to the really, really long rows in a project, like the very bottom of a shawl, or, you know, if you're doing a cardigan and you have to go from the button band all the way around and then back, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of like doing one row of that and then switching to another project.
Really?
And then, so that I get like one row in, and then maybe I'm motivated to do a second row, but like I'm not forcing myself to exclusively work on it.
Okay.
So, but every time I sit down to knit, I have to do at least one row on it, and then I can put it away and do something else. So at least there's like some progress being made, and then maybe you take it to knit night and you're working on just that for 2 hours, and you do make a little bit more progress.
And I will take it when I'm on the double crochet side panel, but it's also mixed with the panels of lace
that are beautiful.
But like, oh my god, I keep getting distracted and having to rip it back because I've made a mistake multiple times. And anyway,
that happened to you, I think, the last time you brought it to knit night.
It happened to me
you were like,
twice.
This sucks, and started pulling it back. And
Yeah.
like, just watching.
I had to undo a lot of crochet lace. But crochet lace is kind of having a special moment right now. The girlies, the Gen A girlies, have finally discovered Irish filet crochet.
Yep.
And they're having a good time.
And
I'm like, you know what, baby? I love it. Bring vintage crochet back, because it was beautiful. It still is.
Time.
It deserves a moment, and I'm loving that the girlies are discovering it now.
Good for
I'm
them.
feeling like when Gen Z discovered skirts.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh my god, it's a skirt and also shorts. It's like revolutionary. And I'm like, yes, baby, bring it back. We need more of those.
Well, I mean, like, that's kind of like how fashion works, right?
Cyclically.
Like, it's cyclically. So there's a lot of things that, like,
Every
when you were in
20-ish
high
years.
school were popular, and now it's like coming back, and you're like, what? And like for like in between, no one cared about it anymore. Like,
Yeah. So I'm over here very much like bitch eating crackers, enjoying the show of all of the new filet crochet patterns that are coming up, and like the girls on TikTok that are like, I made this like octopus in filet crochet, and then I turned it into a dress. I went clubbing. Yes, mama, do
love
it.
that. I love that.
Do
I
it.
just love the fact that like this art is not going anywhere.
Nope.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
Like
yeah.
that makes me happy, is knowing that
Yep.
like it's well, and I've noticed there's a resurgence of like, what do you call it? Like slow technology, or sorry, not slow
like
technology,
slow
like
making.
slow making, or like going back to things that are not necessarily
quote-unquote
like
traditional handicrafts.
Yeah, and I feel like some of it may be attributed to the fact that essentially not only
world's
is
on
it,
fire?
well, yeah, there's that, but
World's
also
on fire.
but also the fact that like you're not always on social media when you're doing things like that. It's a break for your brain.
Yeah,
right?
it really is.
From dead scrolling, death scrolling,
Doom scrolling.
doom scrolling. There you go.
Death scrolling.
I don't even know what I'm talking about.
Feels like it though some days.
Sometimes
like,
it does. What's your
my final one?
Final one.
Just give me 1 second to put this locking marker on my project. Great thing about cables is that it's only a few rows repeat, so you only have to think for a couple of rows at a time. My final project is one that I've shown on the pod before. This is a sweater that I started back in September. We're slowly making progress.
Oh, yes,
We're slowly
that one.
making This is one that requires a little bit more thinking because of the way that I'm doing the striping. So this is the Kip sweater by Rebecca Clow.
This is a Rebecca Close Stan account.
This is sorry.
Oh,
Bill.
this
Sorry,
looks
Bill.
so good on screen.
You are wearing Rebecca Close
I
while
am actually,
making Rebecca
wow,
Close.
That's Rebecca Closeception. Oh, my needles are twisted up. Did I pull my needles out?
No,
oh,
you
I
didn't.
Woof. That was
No, you
that was a
didn't.
worry there for a second. Everything's all snaggled around. This is how long it's been since I've worked on it. Actually, no, I worked on it like two weeks ago. So
The Kip.
this is the Kip sweater by Rebecca Clow. She has designed the pattern to be in one color. I received the yarn from one of our Knit Night friends, Laura. It was left over from
Hi,
a
Laura.
project that she was making, and it was the right amount to make the kip, but I had to get funky with the color choicing
I love that.
because
It's so
of how much
nice.
there was. So I'm striping it. I went a little rogue, and by a little I mean a lot rogue. Also, my row gauge is comically off, so I had to, anyway. we're
Bigger
having
or
fun.
smaller?
Like I think the row gauge in the pattern was like 34 rows, and mine was like 48 rows
Uh-oh.
in 4 inches.
So you're going to have to make a few extra repeats.
So yeah. So part of the reason why this one hasn't been getting as much work on it is because every time I sit down to work, because I'm on the sleeves now, I put the body on hold because I want to make sure I have enough of the colors to do the sleeves
Yeah.
before I do the hem.
Yes.
But every time I sit down, I have to do a little bit of math because I have to compensate for my row gauge being so off in terms of like how many stitches am I picking up, how many rows am I doing before the decreases. Like when I did the collar, I think I redid the collar 3 times before I came out with the shape and a number that worked for me, like because of my gauge. So this has nothing to do with the pattern. This is me just deciding I wanted to go rogue and being like, screw gauge swatches.
Yeah.
So now I'm at the point where
Oh, buddy, I think you did lose a few stitches right here.
Oh no!
Yeah. But I'm going to pull on this, and we're going to fix it in post.
Yeah. Luckily, this is Durarum Natura Ulis,
So it does not
which is a
ladder down.
Yeah,
Not
it
at all.
sticks. It
This is
stays.
a
it's
beautifully
keeps it shape.
rustic Portuguese wool, which is so sticky and wonderful that I can really just manipulate the fabric without much of a worry. Wow, someone's having fun upstairs.
Yeah.
Without too much worry, and which is saying something because this is a mosaic pattern, so this has a lot of slip stitches in it, and I am like 0% concerned that I'm losing those slip stitches.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
Because I have wanted to make the Kip sweater, but the slip stitch pattern has me a bit nervous.
Yeah, I would definitely recommend doing this in a non-superwash wool.
A toothy yarn.
A toothy yarn for sure, because I've seen a bunch of the samples that people have made that are shared, the projects that are shared on Ravelry.
Yeah.
And some people have made it in superwash, but a lot of people in their like project notes were like, this should have been in a non-superwash.
Mm-hmm.
So superwash, what it does, it's kind of like conditioning your hair.
Yeah.
Or like doing like a keratin mask in your hair when it gets like extremely slippery and smooth. It ends up shiny and softer, but it also will not hold.
Yeah.
Yeah, as much as.
So it's the same with wool, right? Like raw wool, especially woolen spun wool, will have a lot of grip.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas superwash wool will no longer have those like open, what are they called?
They're bracts. They're
Bracts?
scales. They're
Yeah.
scales.
Scales. And so you will find that the wool glides a lot easier and sits very drapey.
Yeah.
But if you're making color work, you're gonna have like gaps in between. There's gonna be tension issues. It's gonna grow a lot when you block it. So just have that in mind when you're choosing
Yeah.
your yarn for textured projects.
There we go.
Superwash will go faster and end up smoother,
Mm-hmm.
but it will give you some grief.
It will, but it's worth it though. I think superwash yarn. You just need to find the right projects for it, and you just need to be prepared. Like color work in superwash is really great if you are not super comfortable with your tension, because it will bloom and grow a lot. So if you have really lumpy color work while you're knitting it, it'll smooth out.
It'll block out, yeah.
However, it's not great for a project that you want to steek. So steeking is when you insert, you knit something in the round with the intention of cutting it open. So like a cardigan or a sleeve hole or the neck opening of a sweater, you do essentially a set of 1x1 color work in the middle so that when you cut it, it holds together.
Yeah.
And you don't have any floats.
And you depend on those woolly scales.
You
to
depend on
grip
the
it together.
bracts of the wool fibers to hold everything together so that when you cut it open, it doesn't immediately unravel. Doing that in superwash yarn is not a good idea.
Yeah, it's probably not going to hold as
Sounds
well.
terrifying.
No.
I'm not gonna lie.
So this is a sweater pattern that I would definitely recommend working in a non-superwash yarn. For those of you who are very sensitive to different textures, I would definitely recommend choosing yarn, making a little swatch in the pattern that you want to use, and then just tucking it inside your clothing. So when I try out new yarns and I'm not sure if I'm going to like it next to skin, I'll make a little swatch, just a couple of inches wide, and I'll actually tuck it inside my bra, because obviously that's very sensitive skin here. And if I can go an entire workday without taking it out, then I know I can wear it next to skin. Right?
Smart.
So that's just a little help, because this is definitely a pattern that if you make it in superwash, it will look beautiful, but I think you'll have a lot of issues in terms of fit after blocking.
That might be a good idea for me then, because I have uneven tension as I'm working it, but if I choose a size that would give me zero ease, I can just zoom through it with superwash and be confident that it's going to block out.
Yeah, it'll
looser.
open up a bit. Yeah? Yeah.
Hey, that's great.
Yeah,
I love
there you
that. Y'all, we've been talking for an hour. We should probably shut up.
No. One of these days I'm going to convince these two to do a megasode where we just log on at noon and keep going till we fall asleep. I don't think that's ever going to fly, but maybe I can convince them to do a 2-hour special feature.
I'm ready to fall asleep right now. I don't know what you're
Hence why the megasode will probably
This is
not
an
be.
over 30-year-old channel. We do not have the stamina to stream for 4 hours straight.
You might, but I'm going to definitely take the challenge of doing that one
But
day.
you know what? I did one time a couple years ago, did a 24-hour stream challenge for Extra Life for Kids, which is a charity where you stream yourself gaming for as long as possible and collect donations for your local children's hospital.
Nice.
Yeah. I think we raised $800 for Chia.
That's
it was
so
great.
cool.
Yeah, but I was pooped
Yeah.
at the end of that. It
Yeah.
was a lot of streaming. So if you're interested in that, we can definitely do an all-day knitting stream. We should probably do
We should talk about an all-day
Stagger.
one. But I feel 2 hours, 3-hour megasode in the future could be a fun one-off.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
I also have had this idea. Let me know if you guys agree, if it's something you want to see. I just want to do non-spoken close-up knitting videos just for relaxation. Usually that is what helps me sort of even out when I'm in high stress mode or I'm having too many thoughts, as one does with ADD. So I find that focusing in on the movement of my needles and my fingers is really good for sort of cheats meditation.
Yeah, it's
if you're
pretty much meditation.
Yeah, if you're interested in some longer form video in that, let us know in the chat. I'd be happy to make a few tests.
Yeah, what would you like to see from us?
Yeah, what do you want to see? Because we're very happy streaming, but we have itches and ideas to bring you different kinds of content. But don't worry, the streams aren't going anywhere. We're continuing doing that.
Oh, also, just by the way, if you have a favorite book that just happens to be outside of copyright in Canada, like that's in the public domain, like maybe share that with us too.
Yeah, let us know what are your favorite classics that are out of the public domain for no reason.
Just none whatsoever.
Just tell us. Don't worry about it. Just tell us.
Okay.
Anyway, I think we're good to skip Knitspiration because we've been doing so many WIP parades.
I think that's
feel
the
like that was an
inspiration of the
that was an
week.
inspiration. Oh, I almost forgot. My muscle were always ready.
Oh wait, I have one too.
I
Mine is
didn't
not
bring
finished,
mine.
but
I wore mine last week.
It's finally here.
Yay!
Yay!
This is another whip you have that didn't make it into the parade.
Yeah.
Into the WIP parade.
Nice.
Yay!
Nice.
And now my hair matches again. Wait,
Yeah.
hold on.
Last time you had like almost entirely red hair. Now you have just the like the fringe edge, which looks really good.
It matches my hat again. So thank you to Celine at Cactus Yarn for making yarn that looks exactly like my palette color.
Mm-hmm.
And thank you to Brianna at Mint Hair Studio for giving me the hair that matches my hat.
Did you just take the hat in and you were like this?
Actually, no. We
No.
came up with the color separately, but it
Ooh.
ended up being perfect for the hat.
Nice.
All right, everybody.
Okay.
It's been a pleasure to hang out with you for another hour. Catch us again 2 weeks from now here on YouTube.
We'll be back.
We'll be back. Bye.
Bye.